just wanted to do a quick video. I just saw an article in the Inquirer about the Pennsylvania Inspector General's office doing a review of state trooper traffic stops on highways in Pennsylvania. It appears that in certain counties in Pennsylvania, and they didn't name Philadelphia, I believe they named Dauphin, Cumberland, and Franklin. So they're all well outside the Philadelphia metro area, which includes Bucks, Montgomery, Chester, Delaware County, all counties that our law firm frequently practices in. But the point of the article was that the Inspector General's office, and they didn't say who was reviewing this, whether or not they were criminal lawyers or former prosecutors. So we have no way of knowing who's doing this review, but it appears that they're doing the review because state troopers were allegedly stopping cars, searching them, and then in the affidavit of probable cause, which was put together after the arrest of the individual, obviously assuming that they found contraband in the car, they were putting in there what they classified as boilerplate language, but they didn't give us an example of what they meant by that. So I really can't say what they meant, but I would imagine that they probably saw something like, I was overcome by the odor of marijuana, or the car was a rental car, or something that was very common in terms of drug trafficking. And I think that's what they meant. But the important thing to understand is that the article leads people to believe that the court, on its own, threw these cases out. And that's simply not the case. They really don't give credit to any of the criminal defense lawyers, or whether it be private lawyers or public defenders, doing their job and forcing the Commonwealth to go through the process and submitting a motion to suppress. And that's really what it comes down to. Remember, in Pennsylvania, as I have written on previous occasions, and I've done a lot of videos, the preliminary hearing is not a place to assert Fourth Amendment allegations. So we know at least that a lot of these cases made it past the preliminary hearing level and were more than likely dismissed at the pretrial level through a motion in limine, otherwise known as a motion to suppress. So that's where the Commonwealth was forced to prove that the search was in fact legal, based upon the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution, Article 1, Section 8 of the Pennsylvania Constitution. New Jersey has a very similar statute, but right now it's focused on Pennsylvania. Remember that in Pennsylvania, warrantless searches of vehicles are permissible. In addition, police are permitted to stop a car and ask the driver if they can search the car. And once that consent is given, your constitutional rights therefore don't apply. And that's why I say that if you are stopped by police and they ask to search the car, more than likely they don't have sufficient probable cause, and that's why they're asking you to search the vehicle. So, understanding that, you have to keep in mind that when a police officer stops your car, warrantless searches are permissible, and police can use what's called a totality of circumstances analysis to establish probable cause. And that's really where I don't really understand the article, because they're saying boilerplate language, but again, it's very common to see the same language in affidavits of probable cause, and I'm not arguing the Commonwealth's case here, but the fact that we see boilerplate language in and of itself doesn't mean anything. There has to be factors which the officer observed, and that's why it can be anything. And it's when you're a defense attorney to argue why it wasn't sufficient probable cause and why the officer may have had something like reasonable suspicion to call a drug dog, or maybe to detain you to conduct a further investigation. That wasn't probable cause. So if you have questions about probable cause in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, in Pennsylvania 215-755-9000, in New Jersey 856-793-7429. Remember, the article, if you read it today, it's going to indicate that police were stopping cars for normal traffic stops and then searching them. That's actually allowed. Police can stop a car because of a traffic code violation. Where the issue becomes is whether or not they have probable cause to search the car. So keep that in the back of your mind. If you have questions, give us a call. GamboneLaw.com is the website. If you have questions, 215-755-9000 or 856-793-7429. Thanks.